the people we lost in Aurora loved, and they were loved. They were mothers and fathers. They were husbands and wives, sisters and brothers, sons and daughters, friends and neighbors. They had hopes for the future, and they had dreams that were not yet fulfilled. And if there's anything to take away from this tragedy, it's the reminder that life is very fragile.
Washington and Hollywood reacting this morning to a gun assault at a midnight screening of the Batman movie in Colorado that left at least 12 dead and wounded more than 3 dozen others. We are just now beginning to learn details about the shooting. It was the worst in the U.S. since 33 people were killed in 2007 at Virginia Tech. Law enforcement officials have named the suspect as James Holmes. He is 24 years old. He apparently has no criminal record. It doesn't appear to be affiliated with extremist or terrorist groups. He apparently entered the theater, had at least a rifle, a shotgun, 2 pistols, and opened fire in front of the theater. This was an assault at a Century 16 movie theater in Aurora that began around 12:30 a.m. on Friday when this gunman set off a canister of what authorities believe to be tear gas before he began shooting. Police are now searching for the explosives at his apparently booby-trapped apartment. As we wait to learn more details on that, we're going to Lauren Meckler in Washington, D.C. to learn how President Obama and Mitt Romney are responding to this. We were just listening to President Obama this morning, Laura. Is there a right way, a wrong way for a politician to respond to something of this magnitude?
Yeah, I think there is, and I think we are seeing textbook responses from President Obama and likely from Mitt Romney as well. This is not a time for politics, as they have both said, and they both are scaling back what had planned to be a day of just like any other of campaigning. President Obama was in Florida for what was supposed to be 2 stops where he was going to really hit, as usual, Mitt Romney hard. He canceled the second stop. It is now on his way back. At the first stop, he really just used that opportunity to address the tragedy. Governor Romney has an event in New Hampshire, which is just getting underway right about now, and he is also expected to address the events in Colorado today. They both have said they're taking off their ads off of the Colorado airwaves, so they're basically trying to remove politics from the situation. They don't want anybody to think that they are off campaigning or talking about what will undoubtedly look like petty issues compared to the loss of life that we saw today.
The strength of the response can matter. If you recall, Mayor Giuliani, after the September 11th terrorist attacks in New York City, came out with a statement that is still sort of ingrained in my mind, where somebody said, you know, how many casualties were there? And he was like, more than we can bear. And it was a very honest and just right on target response at the time. You hear Mayor Bloomberg here in New York right now calling for Mitt Romney and for President Obama to be tougher. He's saying soothing words are nice, but maybe it's time that the 2 people who want to be president of the United States stand up and tell us what they're going to do about it, because this is obviously a problem across the country. That leads us to gun control, Laura. Do you think, as Bloomberg is saying now, what are you going to do about guns in this country? Is this going to finally make both President Obama and Mitt Romney start talking about this more on the campaign trail?
Well, we might hear some short-term talk about it, but the truth of the matter is there's always conversation about gun control after each one of these tragedies. It happened in the wake of Virginia Tech. It happened in the wake of the Gabby Giffords shooting in Arizona. In fact, a couple months after that Arizona shooting, President Obama wrote an op-ed where he said we need to take on this issue and find reasonable solutions. And really, nothing has come from that. And that was well over a year ago when he said that. So really, the problem is that gun control is not popular in this country. Polling shows that support for it is actually at record lows. So it's kind of a political loser at the end of the day. And you know, there will be people who talk about it and think about it, and of course there are some people who feel passionately that we need stronger gun control laws in this country to try to prevent incidents like this, and those voices will be heard. But how long will they be heard for? I think that the White House believes that there's really nothing, not only nothing in it really politically for him, but even if he were to try to push it through Congress, there is not support in Congress, even among many Democrats, for tougher gun laws. It's been hard to even maintain the gun laws that we have now. And of course, Mitt Romney spoke during the primaries with a lot of passion about his support for the Second Amendment and for the rights of people to have guns. So I do not expect anything to happen of this, except perhaps for some more talk in the next few days.
We'll be watching. The general public, you see children killed in a theater going to see a Batman movie. You know, you can't imagine that parents families, anybody out there isn't going to want to hear more than just, as Bloomberg put, a few soothing words. All right, Laura Meckler, thanks for coming to us. She's in Washington, D.C.